Hey everyone, we're here today to put in a ColorDMD into a Bram Stoker's Dracula, and it's the new LED type of ColorDMD that we're putting in. So basically, we're just going to do a quick overview of where the plugs have to go into the boards and stuff like that before we actually do the install. But basically, to start out, this connector right here, I think it's J116, I believe it is right here. That is part of the connector that needs to get plugged into your ColorDMD here. Your ribbon cable here that goes up to the top power board over there, that gets used into your ColorDMD. This ribbon cable here that connects to also goes into your ColorDMD. So basically, also with this panel, there's another plastic panel that replaces this panel, because the original panel has like a red type of film behind it that's not really workable with the ColorDMD. So basically we have this panel here that actually removes that red type of film that allows this ColorDMD to work. So we're going to replace it with that panel. And we have to take off the plastic and stuff like that, but that is going to be easy to do. And also what we need to do is remove this black plastic piece on top here, which holds this plastic speaker panel in place. So this needs to be removed, and how you remove that is that there's some screws on the top here. There's like 4 screws that need to be removed. This, and this. This whole piece comes off, and then your plastic speaker panel kind of shimmies under that to hold it in place, and they tighten everything down, and then your speaker panel stays on. We also need to remove these nuts here too, these 4 nuts, or this nut, and this nut, to remove your old panel from the speaker panel. So we're going to do all that. Just wanted to give a quick summary before we started to do anything. But let's start with taking apart our speaker panel. We'll start there. And again, we're going to have to remove pretty much this plastic piece here to get to the new speaker panel, and remove our old DMD that is on this piece of wood to hold everything in place. So let's start there and see you when we get back on. Okay, so now we're looking at the speaker panel, and again, what we need to do is to just pretty much take these elements or components off the panel. So we're just going to loosen the screws for this, and then we're going to take off our DMD, and we use our nut driver here to take pretty much off our nuts around the DMD. What we're going to do is remove our DMD from the panel here. So there's a light board on here. You don't want to remove that. There's 4 screws that hold that down. You don't want to remove that. There's also a power source here, this connector here. You want to leave that in. That gives power to your lights here. You do want to remove this ribbon cable though from your DMD. You don't need it for now. We're going to need it later. There's also a power source that goes here on the DMD as well that connects here. You're going to need to remove that as well, and we're not using that either. That does not, I don't believe, work with the new DMD that you're going to install. But the screws that you are going to remove are these 4 screws here, these 4 nuts that you're going to remove to get your DMD panel off. So let's remove the last nut. Okay, so now the DMD should just lift off. And this is like 25 years of never removing everything, so sometimes they come off, sometimes they don't. And this is the old panel. Just watch your washers and stuff like that. So that's the old panel we're taking off. And now what we're going to do is let's take a look at the new ColorDMD that is going to go in here. It's kind of cool. It's a bit smaller than the old one. Like we know, you know, when you put this, like the old one in, it kind of, I think it's on the top actually, it kind of goes a lot higher, above the actual panel when you put it back into your machine. This one's very like sleek and very compact. It's actually really nice. It's a nice design of what the guys at ColorDMD did. And also too, here's an indicator here that shows the top of the DMD. So this is the top of the panel. So you'd want to put it, oh yeah, this is the top of the panel, sorry. And this is where the marquee, the plastic goes. So you want to put that to the top, like that. So the top is going to point up towards you when you take your panel down. So, but we need to remove the plastic from below. That is the old, is an older plastic, or the older plastic we need to remove here, the speaker panel, because there's like a red type of plastic or like a film on it that doesn't work well with this DMD, and you could see it here. It's red in here. So if you put a DMD through that, you're not going to see anything. It's just going to be blurred out. A lot of new sterns have a filter, a plastic overlay that goes in here to create that effect. But on this plastic, they actually made it into the plastic. So there's no way to get rid of that. But I've heard stories where you could kind of like use something, a solvent or something, but you may ruin your DMD panel. So, or speaker panel, so you maybe don't want to do that. So what we need to do is remove this plastic here, this type of bezel here, this with the the trough in here and stuff like that. There's 4 screws that hold it in, or 5. Remove those screws, take this off, and then what you need to do is, if you look at the front of the panel, there's like, I'm sure like tape or like sticky glue that holds this panel down to keep it adhered to the wood of the speaker panel. So you kind of have to just like, don't force it because you don't want to crack it, but you kind of have to just like play with it a little bit to get it to come off. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna remove this and then see how to put the new one back on, and then put everything back together again and see how the new DMD actually works in the pinball machine. Okay, so here we are with our new panel. We took the old one off, we put the new one on. So now we cleaned out like the speaker, the grills and all that kind of stuff. So now what we're going to do is take our channel that's here, and basically we laid our new plastic down on our wood piece here. And now we're going to take our channel here, and you just kind of like put it on the top of that and kind of get everything in place, and then kind of like flip it over. You might, depending on how you are, put a towel down or something, so you don't want to scratch anything. But now we lay that down there, here, and basically now the channel, the speaker panel is like in the gap of here, so it stays in. So now what we do is screw these screws back in and hold it in place, and then we'll put our new DMD back on top of here, and everything should be good to go once we do that. So basically what you want to try to do too is get your wire ties kind of how you had them before. Like take your tie like this here, screw this back down, snug it up, don't go crazy tightening everything yet, kind of get all your screws in place. And don't do that where you drop the screwdriver. So now we have
this wire tie there. Kind of just turn it around that way so it gives a little tension on the wire. And I believe we have one more screw to put on. So that's it with that. So now you have your bezel back on, holding this plastic piece for the speaker panel in place. So now what we're going to do is get our new DMD, and I guess we could try, I'm not sure, I didn't really see it in the instructions, but we're going to try it here. Just kind of lay it down on top of your screw holes here. I don't know if you need the spacers or not. I don't think that you really do, because your old DMD had these spacers, and when you put in the other, not the you know, the like the TV screen, the old style ColorDMD, you use these to kind of give it a little space away from your plastic. But this one actually sits pretty well. I don't even think we really need them. So we're probably not going to put them on. It looks pretty good without it. And I think if we did, it would be too far back. You know, this would give it some space. Now let's try it. I'm not sure. So if we put that peg in there, you know, there's a bit of a gap. Still not too bad, but I don't really think that we need them. So we're not going to use them. And make sure that your wire doesn't get snagged behind that. Pull your wire away from that. So then what you want to do is put on your washers. So we only can find 3 washers, so we're going to put those 3 washers on. So then you put your nuts on. And remember, top, you want that top to line up with the top of your type of the bezel here, this plastic piece, when you're installing your DMD. So let's screw these down. So we need a bit of a longer shaft to do the nuts. So now what we're going to do is wire the DMD up, and basically how that goes is this cable that comes with the DMD goes to J116, which is right here on the on your board. So then you would take your cable here and put one end to that, so you want to kind of split it. So you have your splitter here, and then you have your little adapter that comes with the kit. So this side goes here, this side goes onto the second part of the cable here. Your cable that you pulled out of J116, and everything is keyed, so you really can't put it in backwards. So then you would put that there, and then this part of the end, let me move my hand out of the way, would go there. So, and again, everything is keyed, so you can only really put it in one way. So that's how you would do it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we got all our cabling in place. So basically, again, the cable goes here. There's a connector that comes off of that goes to the old connector that was on the board that goes here. Everything is keyed pretty much the way that it needs to go on the connectors, so you really can't mess anything up. And then basically there's a ground that you need to put on this ColorDMD as well. So I put it to the nut over here of what attaches to the wood. So now I just took the nut off here, and I'm just going to attach my ground to the back box nut here. So I'm going to tighten this down. So that's tight. So now what we're going to do is attach this end of the cable that goes to J116 here. That goes to this connector right here. And again, it's keyed, so it can only go one way with that little white plastic piece in there. So that goes there. And then the ribbon cable that comes from your power board up on top of the of your back box here, that goes into this ribbon cable port here, and can really only go one way because it's keyed, I believe. It goes, the documents say that the red wire that indicates line 1 or wire 1 on this cable goes to the top position. So I guess that's the top position. So yeah, let me see if you could actually turn it. Well, you could. So yeah, so I guess it does go this way towards you if it's the top position here. So so this red line would be facing you when you put it back in. And you know, you have your buttons like the old ColorDMD. I'm not sure if it's the same pattern. I kind of have to look at the instructions of how that actually works. But yeah, so you know, it's actually a bit easier than the old ones. It's really kind of comparable, but it's really two cables you put in. You put in this cable, you put in your cables in the back box, and that's really it. So so let's put everything back together again. Put the DMD panel back into the pinball machine and fire it up. And again, this was from your old DMD. This gives you the power to your old DMD that came with the machine. We're not using that, so you just kind of tuck that somewhere on the side, and that's really it. So let's put the panel back in and turn the pinball machine on and see if it works. Okay, so now we're going to update the firmware on the ColorDMD before we put the panel back into the machine. So I have the ROM on here that I downloaded from the internet. You put the USB stick into the port, and then you hold the farthest button to the left, and you're going to see like a green light kind of blink or something, the status button or program. It's the program button on the top here, and as it goes solid, that means this is programming your ColorDMD. So it's this button right here, the one that's farthest to the ribbon cable, you would hold down. As you turn the machine on, hold that down, this will blink a bit, and then when it blinks solid like it is now, it takes about a minute for it to program. So let's see what happens after it programs. And then once it's done programming, what we're going to do is take the USB stick out of the port, and then we should be able to look at the front of this and see that the animations are in color. So now the program light has stopped. Now it's kind of blinking, now it's turned off. And now it's color. So that's how you program your ColorDMD, and it looks pretty good. It's a lot brighter than the the traditional one. But we might have to do a little bit of adjustments here and there to kind of get the screen up a bit. But let's see if the buttons are kind of similar to so the farthest right button kind of goes through the settings of where everything is here. Save and exit. Let's go to yeah, so I guess that's it. That's the settings. I thought it had settings for the different pinball machines, but I guess this one doesn't. So I guess when you install the ColorDMD, the ROM to that mode gets taken out of it. So this is kind of specified to this game or to the machine or to whatever. But that's good, because then you don't have to mess with anything else. So again, we're going to take the panel. And put it back into the machine, and play a game with it and see the different animations on it.
Welcome to the Carpathians. I am the last of my kind. Master, to promise me eternal life. The breathing men would kill. Do not fail here tonight. I am Dracula. Vampires do exist. It is a beast, a monster. You think you can destroy me with your idol? My revenge has just begun. Dracula appears. Blood is too precious